Greetings, everyone. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you and express my gratitude for joining us today. We are truly honored and delighted to have such dedicated and enthusiastic educators in Georgia who are eager to share their valuable insights and knowledge with their fellow colleagues. But before we delve into the main agenda, I'd like to provide some context to our dear guests and offer a brief overview of the project. The British Council and the National Centre for Teacher Professional Development invited 20 motivated and dedicated teachers, mentor teachers of English language to apply for the British Council's Action Research course. Actually, it is called Exploratory Action Research course. And the selected participants were given a chance to get insight into the concept of the action research, its key features, choose their research focus, got familiar with different data collection methods, and learned to select best ones that suited their research purposes. Today, part of them, 6 absolutely amazing teachers are invited to share their experience with us, and they will talk what they have learned, what successes they had during the course, what were the challenges. And also now it is just a kind of announcement that we will have the second part of the webinar as well, which will be held on the 21st of June, and 7 more teachers will be invited then. And now I want to ask Maya Darcia to tell us a little bit from the British Council side, and then we will invite our dear teachers to present their findings with you all. Maya, please. I guess that we have some technical problem with Maya Darcia, British Council. Maybe we will start with presenters, and then when she joins, she will greet and tell us a couple of words about the project. According to the list, okay, Maya's microphone is turned off. Nino, შეგვიძლია რომ ჩაურთო მიკროფონი, Maya Darcia's მიკროფონია გამორთული. Thank you, Maya. Okay. Do we have Maya? Michael, now you can, yes. Now
yeah. I'm sorry, my camera is also switched off, but I don't, oh, okay, okay.
Now we can see you, I guess.
Thank you, Nino, thank you. No, hello everybody. For those who do not know me, I am the project manager for English education and arts in the British Council in Georgia, and I would like to welcome all the presenters, all the listeners, and TPDC representatives to this wonderful initiative. And thanks, Nona, for this initiative, because this training is the British Council's and TPDC's response to the needs, local needs, for the professional development of Georgian teachers, and response to the strategy, English strategy, for which British Council participated, and for which the English strategy component became the part of this strategy. So we have a very good kind of in terms of what to do, and exploratory action research was one of the responses the British Council is trying to do to help Georgian teachers to develop professionally, and to help them to own their own professional development. I am really grateful to TPDC and Nona particularly, because she has been very, very full of ideas and full of suggestions and full of enthusiasm, and I see how much she is interested in supporting Georgian teachers in developing their professional level to the international standards. As for the exploratory action research, this is not an easy course, so kudos to everybody who made it to the end, because it is something that we are not very much used to in this country. That is quite an independent work, part of it, and guidance provided by international mentors, which some people found quite challenging, and I appreciate that as well. But I am very confident that as this course picks up and as you presenters share your experiences, you will see that it's something that we can do, and British Council and TPDC are here to support you if you want. Exploratory action research is the requirement for the 21st century English and any subject teacher, and I think British Council has been like kind of pioneer, paving the way for the Georgian teachers to take this journey and face the challenges. And now today you will have the opportunity to hear their experiences and appreciate how much efforts they have put into the course, and what great colleagues we have. Good luck to the presenters today.
Thank you, Maya, so much. Thank you very much to you personally, to British Council, to Zaza, to our dear colleagues in the UK, because without you, we don't know how we will manage to support English language teachers and teaching in Georgia. And right now, thanks to this wonderful course, we have, I forgot to tell you that 20 teachers were selected to take part in the course, but 13 managed to go to the end of this really very, very difficult and challenging course. And now we have pool of 13 wonderful teachers, mentor teachers, who we think will support other teachers as well. And we have some other plans, but now let's not talk about these plans right now. Let's listen to our great teachers, and then we will have more chances to talk to you what we want to do with this course, and not only this one. Okay, thanks a lot again, everybody. Thank you so much. And now we have the first presenter, who is Maya Abdelani from Tel Aviv. Please, Maya, the floor is yours. Please.
Thank you, Nona. Again, hello, everyone. And as Nona has already introduced me, I'm Maya Abdelani from Tel Aviv. And I have been working at Nicholas Mustelashvili Tel Aviv Public School number 3 since 1995. Over these years, I have worked with all 3-level students. And in the recent years, I've noticed that my 10th graders students had problems in academic writing. And that's why I have decided to carry out a research with them. First of all, I have created 3 exploratory questions, and those questions were created from students' perspectives. Those questions are: how do my learners feel about writing? How much time do they spend on writing at home or in class? And what strategies do I use in my class to teach writing? Next step was to choose the data tools, and those were interviews, lesson observation, and reflective journals. As for interviews based on the exploratory questions, I have made 16 questions and an observation form for teacher observers. In addition, I have prepared the letters for parents, students, and my colleagues to inform them about the aim of the research. As I have 2 hours in a week with these graders, the whole process lasted for 2-3 weeks. 12 students were interviewed, and according to summary of data, the findings were obtained. These findings were shown on this slide, and according to the first question, I just mean the feelings about the students' feelings, I've got the qualitative finding. It was that my learners feel better when they are doing writing activities in class with other students. They also think that writing is important and want more activities in class. Next question, exploratory question, was connected: how much time do they spend in class or at home? And students and findings on this question was that the learners feel free while writing when they are using internet or book dictionaries. This shows that students use much more internet or books for writing rather than their basic knowledge. As well, the rewriting is a real practice among the students, suggesting that there is an opportunity for them to improve their writing skill. And as for the third question, what strategies do I use with them? The finding was that I support my learners by giving them examples and modeling, but I do not teach them vocabulary they will use in a writing task, only when specifically requested by learners. And based on these findings, I made the conclusion that overall the data suggests I need for more focused writing instructions and guidance for these strategies. And proposals that we are given, I have made for myself with my mentors, that I will reassess the current writing activity in class, provide them more engaging writing task in class, and will create a writing culture in the classroom where students share work, ask questions, and provide feedback to each other. As well, so as you have seen, there are some findings, more findings here. And as I have already told you, it was the exploratory part, and the benefit of this exploratory part from my point of view is that it has revealed another real problem that I should research from students' perspectives. And that was another, here it is, sorry, and that was that I have changed the research topic, that the impact of feedback on students' rewriting, practice and writing skills improvement. And afterwards, I worked on the research question, and another research question for action research was: how does teachers' feedback on student writing encourage them to make revision? As well as the first step, I have decided on tools, again interviews, classroom observation, and reflective journal was chosen. Right now, I'm just working on the process. I've done the first part. The first part, I mean these interviews. I'm working on them. As you know, it is the last period of academic year, and I'm just afraid that I could not manage to finish all this process. That's why I've prepared the interview question, reflective journal questions for me, myself. And afterwards, I'm working, maybe I will go on this action research from next academic year, because it might be much better, because the first part is already finished, I mean exploratory research part, and the action part, I'm just planning to start from September. Those are the tools I have prepared. These are the interview questions, and that is the reflection journal. As well, I have prepared the letters to inform students what's the next part of the research and giving them instruction, the information about the aim. As well, I have prepared the form for teacher observers who will observe my lessons. And this last part is a reflection journal for me to check what I have done during this work and just to put the tick at the end of this action. And the last part of this is that as for me, teacher, researcher is what really beneficial. Why? First of all, the first part was that I have looked on this problem from my perspective, and afterwards I realized that it is better to look from student perspective because our learning is based on students, yeah? And all these questions were helpful to students. As well, when I decided to share with my teachers, I just mean the school teachers, they just got really interested, and that was their idea to share all this process with other teachers. And we've arranged the meeting with ITAG Tel Aviv branch teachers. And when they attended, they got so much interested that afterwards they asked me to share all the materials with them. Even they have spread this information with others who haven't attended this ITAG meeting, and other teachers just texted me and asked me, Miss Maya, could you send some materials and so on and so forth. And I have arranged them with them individual meeting online to explain a little bit step by step what I have done. All this information, and I'm sure that others will share their experience as well, shows that this work was really beneficial, not only for me, but for my colleagues. I'm really, really grateful, and I want to express great thanks to British Council, to Nona, to Miss Maya, to everyone who gave me the chance to participate in this project, and I'll be really happy if I'll have opportunity to go on collaboration with you. Thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer you.
Yes, thank you very much. That is exactly what I wanted to tell everybody. Dear colleagues, if you have any questions, please post them in the chat and I will read them to Maya, to our teachers, and they will be just ready and happy to answer all the questions. One more thing is that we don't expect that teachers will have opportunity in 5 minutes to tell you everything, but at least you will have the understanding of what the project is about, and share with us your comments, your expectations, your desires regarding this project, and we will be happy to answer, to communicate with you, to keep in touch with you. Please post your questions. Thank you, Maya, once again. Thank you very much. And now the second presenter is Nato Kuldiashvili. Nato, please. We need your presentation, and Nina will help us with this. Thank you, Maya. Okay, so one question is to all, what was the most challenging part of your research work? So actually we can listen now to Nato, and later on we will ask some of you to answer this question, or maybe all of you. Okay, Nato, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'm Nato Kuldiashvili, an English teacher from Khashuri Public School No. 1, and I'm happy to be here with you sharing my experience which I gained from British Council from the course of Exploratory Action Research. And I'm very grateful to British Council, to Teachers House, to Ms. Nona and Maya for this opportunity, which was very valuable for me as a teacher. I gained more and more skills how to research and how to explore my own and my students' problems during the classroom and improve them and support my students to become better ones than they were before starting the research. So while thinking about this topic, what to choose for my research, I observed my students and monitored and tried to identify what was the greatest challenge and what was the most frustrating thing for them during the lesson. And I identified that it was writing skills, like Maya has just talked about. And I decided to explore about coherent writing skills and improve my students' coherence and cohesion, as I think that it's very crucial skill and very useful for our students inside and outside the classroom for their future success and future career. And I decided to improve their writing skills, to improve my teaching approaches and teaching methods, and to identify what was the problem of the fact that some of my students found frustrating to start to accomplish writing assignment, and moreover, some of them even avoided to complete the writing task. I had some thoughts, some assumptions, and some ideas of the problems, and I just wanted to make sure whether my assumptions were right or not, and how to continue working with writing process during the classroom. Some of my thoughts turned out to be real, but I changed my mind in many things while working on this research. The first step, I would like to mention that while working on this research, our mentors from British Council supported us and edited our work and made comments and tried to improve our writing, and it was very useful for us as well. I like this process so much, and I found it so useful that I still continue working with this project with our mentor Shirin, who started a new course with us Georgian teachers who participated in this course. Again, the same research, but with using ChatGPT, and I'm still working on this research. So the first thing to do, the first step was to think about the questions. And I think it was one of the most responsible and challenging thing because I should base all my following steps on these questions. And I chose the following 3 questions. The first one was, how do my students feel when they are given a writing task? The second one was, how do my learners apply the writing strategies that I have learned in class? And the third one was, how do I encourage as a teacher and motivate my students to write more? I mean, give them more feedback, more positive feedback, let them know more about their poor and strong sides, and give them timely praise. So these were the 3 main questions which I formed, and then I started to think about the data tools, how to collect the data to find the answers to these questions. And together with my mentors, we came to conclusions that 3 tools would be appropriate for collecting and analyzing the data. And the first one was questionnaire, quantitative one, which helps helped me to prioritize the problems, and also I chose this this tool because students always find it exciting, interesting to answer these questions, and they find it easy. And all my 8th grade students were involved in filling in this questionnaire, and I collected the answers from them. Next step was lesson observation. I asked my colleague as a critical friend to observe my lesson. I prepared the observation form for my colleague and provided her with all the questions I wanted her to observe, gave me recommendations, advice, tips, what should I change in my teaching practice, what do I do right, what is wrong, and give me all the feedback that was necessary after observing the lesson. And my colleague provided me with advice and feedback after observing the lesson. And this lesson helped me to identify lots of problems together with my colleague, what was wrong, and how my students dealt with the challenge to accomplish the writing task in the classroom. And the last tool was focus group, which helped me to get the deeper insight of the problem. And in focus group, I chose eight students who were glad to answer my questions in more details, to express themselves more confidently and frankly. And we discussed the problems of the writing process, and I also and it gave me proper information about the real problem. While I was analyzing these findings, I came up with the conclusion that a majority of my 8th grade students were motivated and encouraged to complete the writing task, and only some of them were scared and felt depressed and scared because of the fear of low grades and mistakes. This part did not meet with my expectations, because I expected more students to answer that they were afraid of accomplishing writing tasks, but it turned out that I was not quite right in this aspect. Also, my students answered that they prefer, while they are writing in class, they prefer to work in peers and in groups, because collaboration helps them to deal with the problem more easily and more quickly, while the others preferred to accomplish writing tasks at home, in a quiet place, when they are isolated, when they have no time limit, and when they have more chance to come up with creative ideas and think about what to write in their texts. I also found out that students needed more positive feedback from the teacher, and that I should give them more detailed instructions before starting the writing, and while they're writing, and after writing, I should give them objective and transparent feedback, and let them know what they did good and what they did, what they were their action points, and what they have to improve. And I also it gave me the idea that I did not have a good time management during the lesson, and I should improve this point as well. And my teacher also advised me to to split this lesson a bit differently and let my students have more time to think about while they are doing their writing task. All in all, the conclusion of my findings were that the biggest problem of my students' fear and frustration and poor writing results was lack of using writing strategies. Although they were taught in the classroom how to use writing strategies, but it turned out that I did not focus enough on these strategies, and a big number of students mentioned that they never applied to brainstorming, planning, editing their writing, rereading, revising, and this was a problem why their writing had some mistakes in it, and why it was not coherent enough. So after this research, the biggest problem which I identified was that I should focus more on writing strategies. Also, I should improve my time management during the lesson, give clear instructions to my students, and give them more and more feedback after accomplishing the task. And I planned the changes, how to improve these drawbacks, how to improve these problems. And of course, as I have mentioned, I plan to teach a series of strategies to improve their writing skills. I decided to make the things easier for my students, use model texts for them, and let them write after reading or listening a model text, and then let them create their own one based on this text. I also encouraged my students to write on daily basis, anything, take a piece of paper or a notebook and write about anything, different types of text messages or letters, emails, maybe describe the films they have watched, just write a diary. And I asked my students to write every day, very brief text, but try to write on a daily basis. And to improve their cohesion, of course, I understood that I should focus on linking words, useful phrases, on necessary vocabulary and grammar, of course. This finding made my lessons much better for me and for my students. And after this research, we started to deliver our lessons differently. We are more focused on writing, and my students are more motivated and more encouraged as well, because they also somehow identified their own problems, and we started to think about these problems and finding the ways how to solve them together. So in conclusion, I really recommend you to start exploratory action research with your students. Focus on writing process, focus on coherent writing, because as I have mentioned, it will be very helpful for your students in the future, inside and outside the classroom, and they will find it very useful in their future success, for the future success and future career as well. And if you're interested in steps or materials, how to start and go through all the stages of this research, I can provide you with all the materials. You can take my email, and I'm always happy to share my expertise, my experience, and the experience which I gained from British Council trainers and educators. I can share it with you with great pleasure as well. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, you can write them in chat and I will answer.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Nada. It was very comprehensive, a lot of different things. I want to commend about a lot of different things, but we know that there are 4 more presenters today. That's why maybe I won't ask you additional questions. However, one thing that you have mentioned is great. Thank you for that. You mentioned Shirin, who will be invited, your mentor, who will be invited for the next webinar to join and talk to us about this experience as well. Thank you, Nato. Dear colleagues, any questions that you have can be posted in the chat part, and then we will read at the end of the webinar, we will read out all the questions and try to answer them. And now our next presenter is Nino Akhaladze. Nino, hello again. Now I think that we can see you and we can hear you. Nino will share, or you're going to share your screen. Are you going to share your screen? Yes, okay. So, please.
Hello, pleased and honored. Today, I'm Nino Akhaladze. I work in Kutaisi, in both public and private schools, and I'm happy to work with the council. And for me, it was a pleasure, and I would like to have future cooperation. I will be pleased and very happy. So, first of all, can you hear my voice well?
Okay, now it's better. It was not very good from the start, but now it's better. Yes.
Okay, I'll continue. So the topic of my research was effective strategies for improving writing skills. So the problem was, first of all, let's start from that. The students were avoiding writing. So I started thinking about the research because we had the module. We conducted the module with British Council, and it was very helpful for me. The mentors helped me to navigate and to plan my structures and plan my methods. So I improved my research skills a lot. It was very interesting, and I'm still conducting and having collaboration with Shirin because we are having another research about ChatGPT, and I'm very happy, and it's very motivating for me as a teacher. First of all, I would like to start with the question, what writing activities do you enjoy? I started asking my students the questions, and the story, informal letters, essays, and some grammar exercises too. Every week we had collaboration with our mentors, and we were discussing the plans together. So till number 1 was personal reflection, a reflective journal. I was reflecting every day for a week because in a private school we had 5 lessons. We have 5 lessons in a week, so it's very comfortable for me to work about that. So what writing activities do I use in the classroom? It was my question to myself. What's my purpose of teaching writing activities, and so on. Next one, exploratory research questions. How do my learners feel about writing? First of all, as I said, they were afraid of writing. They had lack of confidence in writing. So the purpose of the research was that. My reflective journal helped me a lot. Collect my data tools, and it was questionnaire and peer observation. To say the truth, peer observation helped me a lot. In the classroom, the students were observing each other's work, and it raised their motivation. And as I observed, they became better writers. What is our final outcome? The question is, we are going to practice and write more. And we are going to fix lack of vocabulary by collecting words and writing bank. We have writing bank, and we have many tips for different writing tasks. We have focus group. I have teachers and teacher colleagues, and I shared my steps with them also. And the focus group with the students. By the end of our research, I identified the steps, what was minus and plus with this research. I evaluated the effect of this cooperation with learning strategies, with the questionnaires, with journal notes, and so on. Conclusion was the learners enjoy writing now, but however, they still have some kind of lack of confidence. They still had. As we all agree, practice makes perfect. So now they are better writers. They enjoy writing different kind of writing tasks. As I have mentioned, we have writing bank. So I use this bank a lot, and my students also. This time, as I can say that we like writing and we enjoy writing, and they are better writers now than they used to be. So I would like to thank British Council for this amazing opportunity, and I would like also have future collaboration with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina. Thank you.
Shortly and
it's technical inconvenience, but I hope that everybody had a chance to see your wonderful presentation and to read as well what you were explaining very well to us. By the way, it is the third presentation about teaching writing, so we can see how challenging it is, not only in Georgia but everywhere, to teach writing. And now we have lots of wonderful resources about that. We have the questions asked, and we have answers as well that will help your colleagues to plan better to develop writing skills. Thank you very much. Interesting that so many of you decided to do your research about teaching writing. But in Nina's case, I think it is different, right? Okay. Everybody can see that. Is it right? Yes? Yeah, can you see? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay, so now Nina is presenting. Please, Nina.
So hello, everybody. Today we are here together in this virtual space, and I'm humbled by this opportunity to share this culmination of months of dedicated investigation and analysis. But before I start talking about my research, that is paradigms and processes in reading comprehension with 5th grade students, let me briefly introduce myself. Before I delve into the details, allow me to provide some context, first of all. So I'm Nina Tsakaya, a teacher and PhD student of education studies. Therefore, I think that research is more than the process of identifying problems for me. Because the more I investigate something, the more I develop my pedagogical skills by observing and evaluating the process of teaching. I work in Skaltubo, OTAU Saliani Public School number 1, and also in the village Gubiskali Public School. So this exploratory research was realized in Skaltubo, OTAU Saliani Public School number 1, where I teach 5th graders who are 9 to 10 years old. The students take 3 hours of English weekly. From my observation, learners had difficulties because they had online lessons in the period of pandemic and stayed behind the process of learning English as it was suitable for their age. Then I noted that they lacked the language for this, and even though I helped them with the examples, instructions, they needed more support with language such as vocabulary building, grammar, and also informal English lessons, which I thought would bring them extra benefits. Then findings have revealed that there was lack of using technologies in class as well, and some of them felt demotivated while reading something in English. Then I decided that I wanted to tackle this situation by finding out their perspectives towards English, the class, myself as a teacher, and the materials as well. Using the year methodology and with the support of my mentor, thanks to her, I designed my research project, and I wanted to make them interested towards reading in general and also build up their vocabulary by using several strategies. First, of course, I thought of my exploratory questions, what I wanted to do and what was the direction of my research. And the first question was, what do my students think about reading? It was really essential to identify. The second one was what reading strategies do I wanted to implement in the classroom. And also the third one, what strategies do my colleagues implement to improve reading in their classroom? Then to answer these questions, I used either qualitative or quantitative research tools. I decided to carry out classroom observation, which really helped me. We did everything, and then when the lessons would finish, I observed myself as well. I have also made a questionnaire and a reflective journal to better identify their needs. From data analysis, I found that nearly 80% of learners felt misunderstanding reading in English, 10% felt motivated, and 10% felt really confused. Most learners tend to avoid reading extensive reading because of the lack of time. When they do, they tend to read in Georgian. This is the fact. Unfortunately, not in English, and 55% of learners indicated the main difficulty they have for understanding the gist while reading in English, which indicated the lack of vocabulary, and 30% mentioned grammar, and 50 of them mentioned word collocations and phrasal verbs were a little bit challenging for them. Then, what about my findings? My learners' lack of understanding reading comprehension text was not due to lack of motivation. This was another reason, as I had expected. The process of data analysis shows that they have an experience in reading for gist or details. As a result, my students just went through the text without any aim. To be honest, every day I use pre, while, or post-reading strategies such as skimming, scanning, and inferring. But I think that they had more problems, so they needed something else. What about the questionnaires? The results of the questionnaires show that the teachers also use both traditional and modern methods of teaching in general in other subjects like history, Georgian literature, but they have a lack of comprehension activities because of too many textbook materials, which they usually tend to follow. So then what about changes I have implemented? In my classroom, I implemented pre-reading strategies, also previewing, making predictions, no wants to know chart, also vocabulary preview. For example, I introduced key vocabulary words from the text and discussed their meanings with the students, which helped them better understand the context or content when they encounter these words during their reading. Also, picture work. This is a great, I think, support for them, because there are some text sometimes with illustrations. I would show them and then guide students through a picture work where they discuss the pictures and made predictions about the story or content. Also, read aloud or think aloud strategy, question-answer relationship like QAR, and pre-reading discussion, where I engage students in a group discussion about the target topic of the text and encouraging them to share their prior knowledge, experiences, and opinions. So I think that everything and the conclusion is significant for this case. So these findings have revealed that there are lack of reading fiction in general in class. and we needed more strategies, more activities from informal education in order to develop their reading skills. And also some students feel demotivated while reading something in English because of facing difficulties in the context of the language itself. And the third finding, which I found out, was that students hardly ever have access to new books in English, unfortunately. And this was another concept for this. So after all, I decided to change the situation, the process in teaching them English, and we established together English Readers Club, where we had very interesting and engaging activities together. Now I don't have the pictures, I think, but in reality I have some kind of pictures of the writings. They began writing in English of short stories. And then I uploaded everything and made these short stories like the exhibition for them, and uploaded them in our virtual library. Then we used more technologies and tools in class, which I think really helped them to develop their reading comprehension skills. So that's all I wanted to share for you today. And thank you for this opportunity, of course, and thank you to my mentors as well for their dedication towards this project. Thank you.
Nino, thank you very much. Really amazing findings. How to develop reading skills on the one hand, and also how it is connected to other very important skill, that is writing. So because you have mentioned that your students not only started reading, but they also started writing short stories.
Yeah,
that is
all together. Yeah.
Yes. So later on, I hope that we'll have a chance.
Later we made digital writing tools, not tools, but it was like their diaries.
Diaries, okay, kind of ebooks, yeah. So the ebooks, okay, amazing, very good. Thank you, Nina.
Pictures to develop their creative skills as well.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, digital skills, creative skills, literacy, writing, everything is together.
Of course, 21st century skills.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you have also mentioned non-formal education, so you started these reading clubs, and that is a wonderful extension of the project, we can say.
And I uploaded all of the new materials and books, ebooks for them, and they have no access to them because, as we know, due to their social economic situations, some of them may not have any access to new books, unfortunately.
Absolutely, that's right. Okay, thank you very much. And now I think that the next presenter is Salome Zarkua. Is that right, Salome? Thank you.
Yes, it is.
As Salome is here as well. Let me share your poster. Here it is, right? Yeah.
May I start?
Yes, sure, please.
Hello everyone, I am so glad to be here with you. My name is Salome Zarkua and I'm an English teacher at #1 Public School of Salenjiha Municipality, located in the western part of Georgia. I work with students who are between 7 and 15 years old, and as a teacher I wanted to focus my exploratory action research on my students' speaking skills during the classes because of their participation in speaking activities. I noticed that every time I was working with them, they were not very eager on participating, and whenever they took part, they only engaged in a few words. They learn words, word combinations, read and translate, but they are insecure about speaking. In order to carry out research to understand what was going on, I designed 4 different questions. So number 1, I wanted to know what my students think about speaking English. Number two, what kind of activities I used in classes, because their opinions are very important. And the last one, what did my learners think of the activities I use with them? A completely different reason for student silence may be that the class activities are boring or are pitched at the wrong level. Very often, our interesting communicative speaking activities are not quite as interesting or as communicative as we think they are, and all these students are really required to answer yes or no, which they do quickly and then just sit in silence. So in order to collect certain data, I decided to carry out 3 different instruments. They are questionnaire directed to students, also lesson observation and reflective journal, just to take notes of what was going during the whole process of research. According to the data based on research, all the learners mentioned that they like speaking English in the classroom. They think that the teacher uses various kinds of activities, but have difficulties doing speaking activities because they lack vocabulary. Very important thing, my learners' lack of participation in speaking classes is not due to a lack of motivation, as I have expected. They have difficulty speaking because they lack the language for this, and even though I help them with examples, they need more support with language such as vocabulary. Throughout my exploratory action research, I have gained valuable insights indeed into my student speaking skills and their lack of participation in speaking activities. It became evident that their hesitation stems from a lack of vocabulary rather than a lack of motivation. And to address this issue, I have implemented several changes in my teaching approaches. By introducing vocabulary before speaking, leaving specific vocabulary on the boards during speaking activities, and creating more opportunities for vocabulary revision, as I aim to provide my students with the necessary language support to improve their speaking abilities. So moving forward, it is essential for me to continue prioritizing vocabulary development and integrating it into meaningful context. By contextualizing vocabulary, providing ample practice opportunities and scaffolding speaking tasks, I can help my students build confidence and proficiency in spoken English. Ultimately, my goal is to create an engaging and supportive learning environment that fosters active participation and facilitates effective communication among my students. By continually evaluating and refining my teaching strategies based on feedback and observations, I am committed to helping my students overcome the speaking challenges and become more confident English speakers. So it was all about my research, exploratory research action. Thank you for your attention, and I'm excited to continue this journey for empowering my students to express themselves confidently in English. I would like also to thank all the people who gave me the opportunity to participate in this great project. It was really a challenge for me, but at the same time, very interesting and fruitful. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Salome. Thank you. Amazing. So again, there are so many things that I hear from you, and there are so many things that teachers can learn actually from you, because when you're talking how you looked at the whole picture, what was happening, what were the challenges, the issues, and then how you started working on these problems, and then how you came to the findings, and now what are you doing in your classroom. So that is amazing, and I hope so much that the teachers have more questions and they will be interested to learn even more about all these things, and we will have other chances to communicate with other teachers. Thank you again. Yes, sure. I hope so much. And today our last but not least presenter is Titi Chanturia, who will talk about her exploratory action research, and Nino is going to share the screen now. Yes, here you are. Please, Titi, the floor is yours.
Hello, dear participants of Exploratory Action Research program, distinguished mentors and honored guests. Let me introduce myself. I'm Titi Chanturia. I teach at Salinjika Public School number 2. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you gathered here today. I'm grateful for the international mentors who have selflessly shared their expertise, knowledge, and experiences throughout this program. Their guidance and mentorship have been instrumental in our research endeavors. Their wisdom and insights have challenging out thinking, broadened our perspectives, and encouraged us to strive for excellence. The topic of my research was effective strategies in improving speaking skills among my 7th graders. I chose the topic due to the learners' difficulties to organize their speaking properly. I observed this during speaking. Some of my students feel frustrated themselves while speaking English, but most of them feel motivated. Moreover, some of them avoided speaking at all. I chose 3 main exploratory research questions. First, it was, what do my learners think about speaking English? Second was, what kind of speaking activities do I use in classes? And the third one was, what kind of feedback do I provide students during speaking practice? I chose 3 data tools: the year questionnaire, reflective journal, and lesson observation for my colleagues. Most learners, about 50% read newspapers and books to learn new structures and words. Slightly fewer, 54% used English dictionaries to improve their pronunciation and learn new words. Less than half of learners sometimes listen to the radio and the recordings, study the dialects to use the structures, learn the summary of the conversations or the text in their own words, and repeat it after listening to the radio, recordings, or music. 37% watched films or TV programs in English, and learners correct themselves after they have realized to speak incorrectly. If they forget the word, try to use a synonym of the word. When others spoke English, they try to repeat it in a low voice. About 33% speak English with a teacher and fellows after class. Practicing reading English texts aloud. When I ask questions in class, they try to answer in English. Learners think that when listening to their teachers or fellows who are good at English, they are careful about the phrases, words, and idioms they use and try to use them in their speech. A quarter of learners, 25%, think when friends speak in class, they try to check their errors and correct them. Learners' answers show that nearly half of them knew speaking strategies, but it was not enough. And it would be better if they work more using speaking strategies. The second question was, what kind of speaking activities do I use in classes? It became clear as a result of the questions. 10 pupils, learners, prefer to role play. They say like language games such as mobile or paper games. 8 of them choose to do projects and group work. 4 of them prefer to describe or compare pictures, storytelling, and playing cards. 3 of them prefer discussion. 5 of them choose an information gap. 3 prefer to find the difference between an interview, and 1 chooses simulations. And number 3 too was a reflective journal. What kind of feedback do I provide students during speaking practice? It was positive feedback during and after speaking practice, which is very crucial for boosting students' confidence and reinforcing their progress. Here are some examples of positive feedback, and I will share you. During the speaking practice, compliment their clarity. For example, you have a clear and articulate speaking voice. It's easy to understand your points. Acknowledge their fluency. Your speech flows smoothly and you maintain a consistent pace. It's impressive how well you maintain your train of thought. And number 3 was highlight their to highlight their vocabulary. You have a rich vocabulary and use a variety of words and phrases to express your ideas effectively. Phrase the organization. Your speech has a logical structure, making it easy to follow your main points. Your introduction and conclusion are strong. Also, your confident posture and gestures and impact to your speech. It's evident that you're engaged and passionate about your topic. And what were the changes? It's a series of strategies to improve their speaking skills. First, use interactive speaking strategies regularly. Give learners more opportunities to practice English and focus on linking words and useful phrases or vocabulary. That's all. And once again, congratulations to all participants of the Exploratory Action Research Program, and thanks to the British Council and you and Nona and Maya for this great opportunity. Your commitment, hard work, and dedication are in inspiration all of us. And I urge you to keep pushing the boundaries embraced, known, and never cease in your pursuit of excellence. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely amazing. I'm really very, very impressed by all what I have heard today. And that's great. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Titi. Thank you, dear colleagues, to all of you. It was really great. Final comments. Maya, maybe you want to comment some final words, and our colleagues, maybe you want to tell something to each other as well. Michael.
Thank you, Nona. Yeah, it was, well, I already heard these posters like Nona, but still, you know, when you hear it the second time, you grasp more what huge work all the participants have done. You know, what I have paid attention to this time was that research is an opportunity to identify your own, as a teacher's, strengths and weaknesses, and address weaknesses, and feel confident and empowered when you see that you are doing something right. And this is something very good finding for me. And the other one is that research helps to organize your ideas, like, again, what works, what doesn't work, and make evidence-based decisions in your teaching in the post-research period. And I have also seen, I'm very happy that most of you paid attention to the productive skills and want to explore more how to work around the teaching productive skills. And you are very right, because actually, why are we teaching? We want our students to be good communicators and be able to read and speak and write in their real life. I'm also very impressed by the fact that reading skills are considered important And because in my previous life, when I was teaching at the very start of the Cambridge exams, I was really struggling when I was teaching reading, when preparing for the tests, because students, and probably myself as well, found it difficult to use all this like skimming and scanning and do the quick reading and understand the gist in a very limited time in order to be able to perform at the exam very well. So, and this is something which has been lacking in the Georgian education I was taught English through grammar translation method, and it was quite a challenge for me to speak confidently and not to worry about mistakes I made at the start. So I think all of you have chosen very, very important points to see, and I'm very happy that I saw one person interested in self-reflecting journals, and kudos, because I think this is a very, very useful tool for a teacher to develop. Not by all means improve, because you are already very good, but develop and understand yourself. It's kind of psychotherapy, but secretly done to yourself. And so I think these are very interesting materials for yourself, and I hope this course has developed more confidence in you. So sorry for talking so much, but I'm really happy hearing all this.
No, thank you, Maya. Thank you for all these deep insight and explanation and how you see all this process, because I agree with you absolutely that productive skills are great challenge for us nowadays. It was and it is right now as well. And not only productive skills, but literacy. We know how important it is for our children's life, and now we are talking about literacy in English language, but still it is very important. And thank you for all your insights and for your observations, for your findings. That was absolutely amazing. Now we have a comment from Elvira. Elvira, thank you so much. So she's writing that she worked with her students how to improve their reading, writing, speaking, listening skills, and also enrich her learners' vocabulary skills. For this, I created English Club, and I used from online tools websites to create resources. Thank you for sharing, Elvira. That's great that you share with us your ideas. And now I want to address those who did not have a chance to participate in the course but are listening to us. I hope that this webinar has provided you with new perspectives. Yeah, so that is very important, and strategies, resources to enhance your English language teaching. And we need to remember as language teachers that the journey of education is continuous one, and it is through collaboration and learning from one another that we can make a lasting impact in the lives of our students, and that is our ultimate goal, I think. So thank you once again to our incredible mentor teachers, to British Council, to everybody who joined us today and who will listen to us later on. Thank you to all of you for your active participation, engagement throughout this webinar, and not only, and wishing you continued success in your teaching endeavors. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you again. Thank you again.
See you on the 21st of June.
See you on the 21st of June.
For the second.
Yeah. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.